Alrighty, hello everybody. My name is Corbin. I am the undergraduate enrollment advisor, and we are here tonight to talk about our Paralegal Studies program within the School of Criminal Justice. So thanks for being here. Like I said, my name is Corbin. I will be the host, kind of guiding us through this presentation. My information is here, so if you do have questions about our programs, questions about the enrollment process, or anything about any information that you want to get about the college, feel free to reach out to me. My email and phone number is here on the screen. I'll also have it at the end of the presentation. So if there's anything I can do to assist you, feel free to contact me. So now I want to introduce a couple of the individuals here that are here tonight. And we have Professor Emma Fletcher, Program Coordinator of the Paralegal Studies program. Thank you for being here, Emma.
Of course.
Hey, you there?
Yep, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep, thanks for being here. And we got Jasmine Scott. Jasmine, will you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jasmine. Can everyone see me?
Yep, we can see you.
Okay, great.
All right, thanks for being here, both of you. So Jasmine's a current student in the Paralegal Studies program. And we're going to be hearing from them tonight as we kind of go through this and talking about various things regarding the program and student life. And so if you do have questions throughout the presentation for either of these individuals, feel free to post them in the chat box and I'll address the questions throughout as we go. Alrighty, so what I'm gonna do, well, first of all, congratulations all of you that have been, if you've applied to UC, you've been admitted for the fall semester, congratulations. We're just so excited that you are considering UC and you're looking into our school as a place to call home. If hopefully this will be informative if you're kind of thinking about decisions and what is the next step for you. Hopefully this will be an informative time to help with those. Unfortunately, we would prefer to do this kind of an in-person, have you on campus and talk to you and have you meet some of the individuals within the program. But unfortunately, with the way things are, we can't do that. But hopefully the next best thing is getting you to this information, allowing you to hear from some of the individuals within the program. As well, and with all of this going on, it's a lot of plans have changed and things are moving around not the way we expected them to. But if you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out and we'll be happy to assist you. So just kind of a brief overview of our schedule tonight. We're going to do a little bit of an overview of the program, let you hear from Professor Emma and Professor Fletcher and Jasmine about the program, just ins and outs and the curriculum and the opportunities that are available to students within paralegal studies. And then we'll talk a little about life as a student, let you hear more from Jasmine and some of the things that students might be taking advantage of on campus and various things like that. And of course, time at the end for any additional questions that you might have. So first of all, program overview. So the Paralegal Studies program, a lot of things going on here, and I'm going to actually let Professor Fletcher talk a little bit about this program since she's the program coordinator, and let her really share the cool things and what we do here at UC within Paralegal Studies.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, just to go over a couple of things that are really important to our program. The biggest one being the first thing on the screen there is that we have ABA approval, which means that there are certain requirements that the ABA has in order to reach that approval. And we have found that they are very important to our students as well as to employers of our students. Having that approval has been very beneficial, especially here in the greater Cincinnati area. And so with that comes a few different things. One is that all of our instructors are practicing attorneys, so they are in the trenches every day. They are up on sort of the modern legal trends, and they've been through things. So they've been to law school. They can help you with that if that's a path that you're interested in taking. Also with the ABA approval comes practical assignments. Our entire program is very practical based. So you will actually do things in the classroom that you would do as a paralegal. So you will draft complaints. You will, learn about filing. You'll learn to write interrogatories. The types of things that you would be doing as a paralegal, you will do in the classroom. And I think that's a huge benefit, especially if you are considering going on to law school, you don't learn a lot of those hands-on skills. And so our program pairs really well with a law degree, if that's the route that you choose to take. We also have a ton of students who are in all different kinds of majors. We have a lot of criminal justice majors who do our certificate alongside that because they have an interest in the law.
Cool.
Do you want me to talk about the first year courses yet or not yet?
We will definitely do that in the next slide. But I'm glad you brought up the law school pathway, because that was a question that came up was, can I use this degree for law school if I wanted to go that route?
Yes, absolutely. I would say a large majority of our students are planning on going onto law school, which is great, but it's also not for everyone. So I don't want people to think that that's all you can do with this degree. You can absolutely get a job with a paralegal degree, but it's also a really great stepping stone to law school because you can walk in with that hands-on knowledge, where in law school they're going to teach things at more of a theory level. You learn the law, but you don't learn those hands-on skills. So being around practicing attorneys, getting that internship experience all before you might want to go into law school is really, really helpful.
Awesome. Very cool. And so big thing, obviously the internship piece is a huge part of our programs. What are some of the common internship placements that students are doing?
So we have students do all kinds of stuff. We have them work for large law firms, small law firms, corporations, like General Electric, Luxottica, Kroger, and then like big firms downtown or small firms in, the suburbs. So we have people who work in government offices, some go to DC. It just really kind of depends. And that's the nice thing is, one, if you don't know what you want to do yet or what kind of law you want to practice or what area you want to be in, it gives you a chance to kind of get some experience with that. And if you don't want to be at a big firm downtown, you don't have to be. And so it really is kind of up to the student and what their preferences are, which I think is a great thing about the flexibility of our internship, that you really get that power to choose.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And so it's interesting you brought up the DC thing. So explain a little bit about the option to go to DC.
Yes, so UC has a great relationship with the Washington Center in Washington, D.C., and we've had students who have gone on to do that, and they get to go live in D.C. for a semester, and they take classes there that transfer to UC, and they get credit for them, and then they also do some sort of internship. So I had one student work with the EPA. I've had some work with, private law firms, all different kinds of jobs that are there. Actually, my brother did this when he was in college at UC, and then he went on to get an internship in law school there at the same firm, and now he works there full time. So it's a really great process and program that sets people up to have some really great things on their resume.
That's so cool. That's awesome. So let's jump in here to the curriculum for a little bit and talk about this. And so I'm definitely going to open this up for both of you to talk about the curriculum. But Professor Fletcher, you want to explain a little bit about the importance of the first year courses, because I know I want to bring to attention the fact that students are taking major specific courses in their first year.
Yes, and I think that's a great way to kind of see if this is what you want to do. We have a lot of students who take them just because they sound interesting and end up kind of coming into the paralegal program or certificate. So it's a really great foundation. The courses that we've picked for the freshmen, they are all foundation based. So like Introduction to Legal Studies, you're learning about the paralegal profession, ethics, torts, contracts, those basic topics that kind of get branched out on. When you get into things like sports and entertainment law, you have to have that contracts basis, and you'll get that in intro. Same with the legal research and writing. You learn research skills and applying that to legal writing and learning about citations, and that's all going to be applied throughout the courses that you would take as an upperclassman. Family law is one that people just love to take because I think it's really interesting. I love teaching it. And we talk about all types of family law issues, prenups, divorces, dissolutions, custody, paternity, adoption. And we work through a case file and walk through a divorce from start to finish. So Jasmine is actually in that class right now, so she might have some things to share about it. But I think it's a good way to kind of get your feet wet with the paralegal program, because people are familiar with family law, and so it doesn't seem quite as scary or something that you're not familiar with, and a great way to kind of get a handle on the legal field.
Yeah, Jasmine, you want to share a little bit about your experience from some of the courses that you've taken in the program? Can you hear us, Jasmine? Might be having some audio issues. All righty. Well, Jasmine, if you can let us know when you've got that figured out, we will definitely come back to allowing you to talk about some of the courses. You might be having some technical difficulties with Jasmine there, but we'll definitely come back into this here in a little bit. So Professor Fletcher, maybe you want to expound a little bit on the family law course, since you said it was an interesting course?
Sure. Yeah, we just kind of talk about all different stuff related to family law. So a lot of people just think of divorce and dissolution in that, but we look at sort of all of the factors in that. So child support, spousal support, all of those types of things. And then they also do a paternity project, looking at paternity of children, and an adoption project. And we talk about everything from the history of marriage to prenups and why they're important. And we do a lot of discussion in the class, which is really cool, because a lot of people have personal stories to share, or they've worked for firms who do family law. And so it's really interesting to hear kind of all the different perspectives on it and how it impacts them. And the other fun thing we get to do is look at all this crazy celebrity divorces and talk about those and what they would have done differently. So that's kind of a fun twist on it all.
Okay, very good, very good. So let's see here. Hopefully Jasmine will be able to get this figured out fairly soon. But I know, let's see here, where are we at here? We'll come back to life as a student. Hopefully she'll get on soon. But I do want to talk a little bit about just some of the resources that as a student, I think it's great that we talk about how you're taking your first year, you're taking major specific courses within your first year, because not every program really prepares you to like figure out, this is what I want to do right away. And so it's great. What other kinds of experiences are happening within, especially that first year, for students to explore kind of career pathways?
I have, sorry, I have some students who start doing internships as early as freshman year if they're interested. You don't have to be a senior, but I think it's a great way to kind of get your foot in the door if you want that type of experience. But there's also all kinds of different things on campus. There's a pre-law group that we have some students who are involved with that. We have the Criminal Justice Society, which we have a lot of students in because we have a lot of overlapping students. And they do all kinds of wonderful things, like go on prison tours and have speakers and all kinds of things that really tie into just the legal field as a whole, whether you're criminal justice or paralegal. And then the Criminal Justice Career Fair is a huge event in the spring, and all of the paralegal students are invited to that. And they have some law schools and different government agencies and things who might be interested in hiring paralegal students as well. And you can go to that as a freshman and kind of get acquainted with things. And as you get further in your educational career, you might get a job through there. So there's all kinds of different ways to get involved as far as within the School of Criminal Justice. And then of course, there's just a plethora of things within the college and the university as a whole.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. So I think Jasmine is back on. Jasmine, can you hear us okay? Oh, I think she might be having some internet issues at her home. Let's see here.
Hello?
Jasmine, can you hear us okay now?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm sorry. I lost connection for a second. I don't know what that was.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. So I was going to have you talk a little bit about some of the courses that you've taken in the program.
Okay, yeah, so my fall schedule was similar to the one that's on the screen. I did take Intro to Legal Studies, which was really beneficial. It really taught about like what a paralegal is and the duties that they do. And then I also took Legal Research and Writing, part one, and part two my freshman year. And the class was very beneficial in terms of learning how to write like a lawyer and just knowing how to cite cases. And the information I learned from legal research and writing, I felt like I could like literally go work in a law firm and try to cite cases. So it felt it was really beneficial. And another class that I took for freshman year, which isn't on that list, I took civil litigation, which was also a part one and part two class. So I took it my entire freshman year. And that class is still to this day probably my favorite class I've taken at UC. Um, just because my professor, who is also an attorney, she would tell us like these stories from her job, and it really made it interesting. And the good thing about the way the paralegal program is structured is that the classes, in a way, kind of like overlap. So if you don't get a concept in one class, you can go to another class and understand it. So I know my freshman year, we were talking a lot about the court system. And if I didn't quite understand it in one class, I understood it when I went to the other. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, the freshman year was a really good batch of classes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how much of that did you come into this program really knowing this is what you wanted to do, or was it after you kind of went through some courses and took some other things, did you really figure out this is a pathway for me?
Yeah, going into the program, I, like most people, didn't really know what a paralegal was. I just knew I really liked law and I wanted to be a lawyer. I knew I wanted to go to law school. But after taking the classes that I did take, I realized that this is what I want to do, and I was pretty good at it. So it made it it was just reassuring. So yeah, these classes definitely helped me realize that this is what I wanted to do.
Okay, yeah, very cool. And so, we talked a little bit about how the program offers internship opportunities. What are some of the things coming down the road for you with, taking advantage of that aspect of the program?
So this summer, if things still go accordingly, I know it's kind of hectic right now, but I actually have an internship for the summer. That it,
Congratulations.
thank you. It's like it's a bigger corporation and they pretty much place students where they see fit. And what I like about that internship is that I know for a fact I want to go to law school, but I don't know at this time what type of law. And so it kind of just allows you to figure out which one you like before you like have to finally pick one. So that should be exciting to do in the summer, and I'm really happy about that.
Very cool. Now, I do want to bring up, we talk about how the faculty that teach the courses are practicing attorneys. Is that something that you've been able to take advantage of with kind of developing some relationships with the faculty?
Oh, definitely, yes. I think my freshman year, I asked one of my professors for a letter of recommendation,
That's
and it
awesome.
was really solid. So definitely having professors that are like actually in the field, it just makes everything better. And then I really I really like stories, I guess. So I really appreciate when professors say things from their job because it just makes it seem like oh wow, this is something that I could do or that's interesting. So I really do take advantage of the fact that we have adjunct professors.
Very great. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
Um, and so we'll definitely be coming back to a few things, but I want to, as we kind of go through some things, I want to talk a little bit about life as a student here at the university and now at college. And I know, granted, right now, life as a student looks very different than maybe what you had planned for it to look like right about now in this semester as students are kind of finishing out the semester online and in various ways. But when we are on campus, there's a lot of really important resources and things that students do take advantage of. One of those I like to bring to light is the role of an academic advisor. So we have, thankfully we have a great academic advising team. We're one of the highest rated, highest ranked, or terminology I'm trying to say in my head, top rated advising center on campus. to assist our students through various ways as they kind of navigate their program. They work closely with faculty in the program. So it's a big relationship with everybody, ensuring that students are successful. But Jasmine, you want to talk a little bit about the role of an academic advisor for you in your program?
Yes. So I I think the paralegal major is pretty rare, so there is not like a lot of people in it. And so it's sometimes it's kind of difficult to like reach out to peers like and say, hey, like what classes should I take? So the good thing about academic advisors is that they really like sit there and help you make your schedule. Even now as a sophomore about to become a junior, um, I they can still like sit and pick through which classes will be better for me, and I really appreciate that the how well they pay attention to people's schedules and like their what their lives are doing outside of school so that everything matches up.
Okay, great. And Professor Fletcher, if there's anything that you ever want to add to anything, feel free to jump in at any time as well.
Thank you. She handled it. She's doing great.
Okay. So campus life, like I said, very different right now. Not a lot of people on campus at the moment, but when we are on campus, there are a lot of things going on. It's a pretty active campus. And so, Jasmine, maybe talk a little bit about what that has looked like for you. I'm not sure, did you live on campus your first year? What did that look like?
Yeah, so I'm actually part of a scholarship program for first generation students. So since my freshman year, I've lived on campus in Stratford Heights, and um, yeah, dorm life is a really great experience, especially for freshmen. It kind of forces you to make friends. It seems like it should be easier because like colleges are bigger than high schools, but it seems like when you get to college, everyone just tries to like separate. But being in a dorm, it like forces you to make friends and be with each other, and you find out that you have like common classes with people, and it's really nice. So yeah, and then it's definitely nice like just waking up and walking to class versus having to like drive and commute and things like that. So dorm life is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. What dorm hall were you in?
Stratford Heights.
Stratford Heights. Okay. What was like the atmosphere there for someone, living in a dorm life?
Stratford Heights was a really nice dorm. I got to pick my roommate and we got along very well. Every we have like a they have like a Stratford, I guess, like social group. And once a week, everybody will go to the pavilion there and like either have like a movie night or we had bingo. I think a few days before the the whole like uh, COVID-19 thing happened.
Mhm.
And yeah, we have game nights and things like that. And we always try to help each other out, so that's really nice.
Yeah, very cool. We'll be addressing questions throughout, but one question that's related to this is what is the best dining hall?
The best dining hall, let's see. Hmm.
It's a hard decision.
I think the best dining hall would probably be on the green. I think that's the best one, but everyone tends to go to center court just because it's faster.
More
Um,
convenient.
yeah, it's more convenient. But yeah, because on the green is like if you don't live on that side, it's like a 20-minute walk, but it's definitely worth it. They have like subs and really good pizza. So yeah, it's definitely one of the best ones. And it has a coffee place next to it. I cannot remember the name of it, but a Tim Hortons. Yeah,
Yeah, Tim Hortons. I know you're
yeah,
talking about.
it has that right next to it. So that's really convenient and nice.
Very cool. Yeah, and so one other question was, besides dining halls, are there restaurants that can be found on campus?
Yeah, so on Main Street, which is like the street that you walk on to get to the majority of your classes, there's a Subway. There's like four Starbucks on campus, so I definitely utilize that. There's Chick-fil-A, there's Taco Bell, there's Burger King. Um, what else?
Got some good options though.
Yeah, yeah, those you you got a variety, so that's nice. And then you know, they all accept Bearcat card, which is really nice. Even the places like outside of UC, all those little restaurants around there, they all accept it. The Target accepts Bearcat card, so that's really nice.
Explain Bearcat card real quick.
So the Bearcat card is basically your UC ID. It has your M number on it, and your picture, and it's what you use to pretty much do everything.
All right, very cool.
You can't just like walk. You have to swipe your Bearcat card, and then the door will open for you. It connects to your meal pass, so that's how you go to the dining halls. Um, and to go to the library at a certain hour, you have to show your Bearcat card. And then because a lot of the places know that we all have them, like I said, like Target, Chipotle, Penn Station, all the restaurants that are around UC in Clifton, they all use Bearcat cards. So it's really nice. You don't have to carry around like all these different cards. You can load money onto it and use it.
Yeah, very cool. Can you use it off campus?
Yeah, you can use it wherever Bearcat card is accepted.
Okay, very cool. I think there are several restaurants around campus that accept it. I believe, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
All right, very cool. And so this next slide. So our program offers different opportunities to kind of explore international experiences as well, whether you want to do a short-term trip or if you want to do more of a study abroad experience. The students are able to take advantage of that. Do either of you kind of know of examples or opportunities that students have been able to do in this program when it comes to international experiences?
Yeah, so I actually went to Scotland with a group a couple of years ago, and the criminal justice program goes almost every year, and it was a wonderful experience, and they invite all the paralegal students to go. So you have to go through an interview process and apply and all those types of things, but they do invite paralegal students, which is great. And while we were there, we got to do all kinds of cool things like tour a prison and go to court one day and just sit in on some courtrooms and see how different it is, meet with police officers, and we got to do some fun stuff too, you know, see a lot of castles and things like that. And we were gone for, I want to say a week-ish. And that was right after the semester ended. And so that's sort of a better sort of option for like a short term. But then there's also other opportunities. If you want to study abroad, the study abroad office is wonderful. And they can set you up with other universities around the world that we accept credit with and all types of things where you could go take some classes. So that's definitely a possibility.
Okay, very cool. Jasmine, anything to add? Just want to make sure.
Oh no, I was actually gonna also mention the Scotland trip. I know a lot of people that have been on that, and they things about it. So hopefully that's something that I get to try.
Okay, awesome, very cool. So Scotland.
Really?
So on campus, there are a lot of organizations to get involved with. I like to encourage students to check them out and get involved. There are so many, and you know, the more if you are involved in something on campus, students tend to do better academically as well. So get involved, meet people, you know, network. There's a few groups within our college that students can be involved with, like the Criminal Justice Society, the ambassadors that Jasmine is currently a part of, and the UCCECH Tribunal, which is like a student government. But do you want to share about any other student groups that you've been involved with, Jasmine?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, I am a UCCECH ambassador, and then I'm also in the Criminal Justice Society. And I also am a part of a group with my dorm. And that's basically where we go out and we volunteer with or go speak to underprivileged students in local neighborhood schools, and try to get them to come to UC and potentially live on campus.
Okay, very cool.
I just want to say too, there are so many awesome groups at this university, and I highly recommend getting involved with something on campus. But I also really encourage people to pick something within your college because it's a sort of smaller group setting. your college really supports your program. And so even if you're involved in other things on campus, I really recommend that people pick something inside their college. So with Paralegal Studies, it would be within CCH. So like what Jasmine does, just because it's a great way to kind of get to know people on a smaller scale.
Okay. Yeah, great advice. Thank you for sharing. Jasmine, any other student groups that you've checked out or been involved with?
When I first originally got to UC, I was a Aurora guide for a brief period of time, but I kind of did this thing where I had signed up for like a bunch of organizations when I first got here, which I would not advise to do. That is not good. So I kind of had to cut back. But being a Aurora guide was really good because I got to like talk to students and tell them the good things about our campus, kind of like CECH ambassadors. So that's a really good organization to join.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So I want to kind of tie back in the experiential learning piece of the program. You know, this is a really important aspect within just the culture of the university and even in our college, where we want to try to provide students with experience and experience from the very beginning, and not just, you know, towards the end of the program and then you realize, oh, this wasn't for me. So, you know, Jasmine, you already talked a little bit about your, you know, potential internship you have coming up, and how the courses that you've taken have really helped shape your decision into what you want to do. But do either of you want to kind of expound on just like the importance of this? What other experiential opportunities have happened or are available to students as they progress through this program?
Um, I think it's just like just kind of going back to the internships. There are like the professors really do help, and I've heard from like other students that in their colleges, like their professors or advisors, they're not really like um, they sometimes don't seem like they have the best interest. And I never got that vibe from any of my professors. I've asked a lot of my professors about more information pertaining to like what type of law school I should go to, or even like things about the LSAT. So yeah, I just definitely think that are here for their students.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Just sort of the law school application process. We've all been through it. And so it's really nice to be able to help students through that entire process, because it's a lot of work and it's can be scary. And having that insight is really invaluable. And it's so exciting to watch the students do this. I swear I get more excited when my students get into law school than when I got into law school. So it's really fun to see them start as a freshman and work their way through the program and achieve their goals. So we truly are, as Jasmine said, we're a smaller program. And I kind of love that about us, because we get so invested in our students, and we truly have relationships with them, and we're able to kind of help them from day one. And I really love that sort of relationship style teaching, because I think it's beneficial to both the instructor and the student.
Great. So we'll have some time now for some Q&A, and I know I have a few questions here that we haven't had the chance to address yet, so we'll come back and address some of these questions. But if you have any questions, feel free to post them and I will get to them right now. So one of the questions that we had was, do you have to meet with an advisor?
You should.
You should.
Yes. Yes. It's never a good idea not to. I have seen students who they'll avoid going to their advisor for whatever reason, or they miss meetings and things, and it just doesn't work out most of the time, because you need that structure. You need to make sure you're qualifying and you're hitting, there's so many different requirements from all different areas of the university, and you really need to make sure you hit all of those. And we have a fantastic advisor. Ethan Fletcher is no relation to me, but he's wonderful, and he really knows the program, and he really advocates for our students. And so there's no reason that it should be scary or annoying or anything like that. So yes, go meet with your advisor.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Ethan. He's definitely helped me through some class struggles. But yeah, seeing your advisor is a necessity. And it's like they know everything about the classes. So you may want to take a class, but some classes are like time sensitive, like they only are available for a certain semester. And if you can only take this for like either the fall or the spring, then it's really important that you sit down with somebody and kind of like branch it all out so you get all the credits as soon as you can.
Yeah. And how would you say, Jasmine, how accessible are the advisors? Like if you needed to meet with them?
They're very accessible. All I have to do is set up a meeting through Starfish, and yeah, like they're accessible. You can email them, and they'll get back to you because especially during times where it's like everybody's trying to speak to their advisor. So yeah, they're very accessible.
Very cool. One of the questions is, can you only go to Scotland?
Like as a
I
for the
think for
prison
a
trip.
study, like a study abroad experience, but so I can certainly answer this question, but if either of you want to add anything to it, let me know. But Scotland is just one specific trip unique to this program that our students do, but the university offers a wide variety of opportunities to go, whether you want to study abroad or do some sort of other international experience.
Yes, as I was going to say, is Scotland's just sort of the legal based one, but you absolutely can study abroad. Pretty much, I mean, all kinds of places. We have a wonderful international program.
Yeah, absolutely. So if study abroad is important to you, definitely reach out to resources. We have a whole office. Your academic advisors can point you to important resources and assist you with those things as far as if you wanted to take classes somewhere else. So I encourage students to look into that, and also be mindful that there is potential opportunities to help offset costs. There's funding out there that the university and our college can offer students if they qualify to get to help offset some of the potential costs that might come from doing some of these kind of trips. So as we kind of come to the end of this, and if anyone else has any additional questions, feel free to post them at this time. But we put our social media up here, so if you want to follow us on any of our additional social media channels, feel free to do so. Again, my phone and email is on here as well. So if you want to connect with me, get some more information, you have additional questions later on, please let me know. I'll be happy to assist you. Before we leave here, though, is there anything else that either of you want to say or add about this program for students that are, maybe thinking about attending UC and enrolling in this program?
I'd just say that the paralegal program is definitely very, very beneficial, especially if you know for a fact that you want to go to law school. It just teaches you so many skills that other classes may not pay as much attention to detail to. And then, like we've said, the professors really are there for you, the advisors, the entire paralegal major as a whole. We're all like a family, and it's small, so you get that very personal connection with others. It's great to make connections in college, so this is definitely the major for that. Yeah, so I really like this major in this program.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, if you have questions or you just want to ask about a class, talk to me, or I'm sure you could talk to Jasmine. My students text me, they email me, call me, come to my office when we're back on campus. My biggest thing that I preach all the time is communication. So come talk to me. We can talk about your thoughts, your concerns, whatever. And I just would love the chance to meet you, and we would love for you to join the program and join the Bearcat family.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and like she said, if you do want to connect with either of these individuals, you can simply just email me or call me, and I'll be happy to connect you with them and provide their information to you if you have any questions. One question I always like to ask students, Jasmine, what when you were looking to go to schools, what was it about UC that made you decide to come here?
Well, I remember being in high school, and I think it was my senior year, and there was this group of lawyers who actually came to speak to us, and all of the lawyers said that they graduated from UC. And I think it was then, and I think at that time I already sent my application, chosen my major, and yeah, I think it was then that I was like, yeah, this is definitely the school for me because I really loved the experience when they had came to my school. We toured their law firm, and it was really nice.
Okay. So I do have a question here, and maybe Professor Fletcher, you can help me with this a little bit. The answer might vary depending on the question, but the question is, how does paralegal studies fit in with a criminal justice major as far as classes? So I guess if you're not majoring in paralegal studies, how does this program fit into a criminal justice major?
So my best way to answer that is very well. We have tons of students who do criminal justice, but typically what they'll do is they'll do the criminal justice major with a paralegal certificate. So we actually offer a bachelor's degree, we offer a post-baccalaureate certificate, and a minor. The minor is not ABA approved, but the bachelor's degree, sometimes they'll double major, but mostly they do the paralegal certificate, which it's technically a post-baccalaureate, which means that you get it after your bachelor's degree, but you can also do it alongside your bachelor's degree. So you would earn at the same time your criminal justice bachelor's degree and this certificate. And they really go hand in hand really well. And especially if you have an interest in the law and that's what you want to do, is something legal based. I have a ton of students who were like, I was tired of taking random classes I didn't care about. All I want to learn about is the law. And so it's a really great pairing there. And we even have some like instructor overlap. We're all in the same school. It's really a seamless transition, which is really, really helpful. The other thing that they'll do is be a paralegal studies major with a criminal justice minor. So you can kind of choose your path depending on, I would say, typically if you're more interested in law school, they tend to go with the paralegal studies major. And then if you're interested in some other legal job, or like in law enforcement or with a government agency or something of that nature, you go with the criminal justice major. So it just kind of depends. I'm happy to answer questions if you have that specific to your scenario, but my short answer is they pair very, very well together.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I know my freshman year, my learning community, which is where they put freshman students with other students, and you pretty much share the same classes. I and another student, we were paralegal majors, but we were put in a criminal justice learning community. I don't know if that's the norm or if that's something that just happened my year, but
It is normal.
yeah. So we were in the criminal justice learning community. So for my freshman year, aside from legal research and civil litigation, the rest of my classes were also criminal justice classes. So I think it was like American violence. Wow, I can't remember, but they were criminal justice classes, and I was in classes with CJ majors, so that made it really nice just to meet other people that was familiar with law.
Okay, very cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, those are great responses. Hopefully that answered the question that they were looking for. Like I said, if you wanted to get more information on that question or connect with anyone more, feel free just to send me a quick email. I'll send over, anyone's contact information that we can get you connected with them and get more information as well. So unless we get any last minute questions, I think we're going to kind of come to an end here. I want to thank, first of all, our guests for being here tonight, Jasmine and Professor Fletcher. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Of course, and thank you for putting this together, Corbin.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. And again, so students, those of you that are here visiting or watching later, thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Hopefully this was informative and helpful for you as you are kind of making some decisions or just looking into some potential options for next steps for you soon or further down the road. We're here to help you in any way we can. And so, like I said, if you have questions, please reach out. We want to assist you and we want to help you as you kind of try to get some things figured out for yourself, and you want to learn more information. We want to help you as much as possible, especially during this time of not being able to meet in person, but providing as much information to help you as much as we can. So congratulations again for all of you that are admitted this fall, and future Bearcats getting ready to join the family. We look forward to hopefully seeing you soon, and connecting with you in person. And if there is anything that we can do, don't hesitate to contact us. But thank you so much for being here, and everybody have a great rest of your week.
Hey, everybody.